Hey guys, this is Top Tier Tiers review of Dear My Sister Is the Order a Rabbit or Gochiusa. As always, I am Lychee Punnett, and with me we have Tim. Oh my god, those are some names indeed. We have Lolicon number 4, Tim Tom.
That's not me, dude.
Look, man, if I'm a Lolicon, you're a Lolicon.
No, I'm not. What the hell?
Yeah, you are. You definitely are.
You're the one who likes Cood.
I don't know who gave anyone this idea, but that is the worst. Anyway, since he's number 4, we have a 2 and a 3, and that is, we've got Sin, say hello.
Hi. My Kokoro went Pyon Pyon when this set was announced.
That's very nice. I'm sure lots of people out there listening to this empathize with you. And then we've got Jason, who's Lolicon number 3.
Hey, I'm just here for Cocoa.
Spoken like a true Lolicon number 3. Anyway, we're doing red because red is like 80% of this set or something ridiculous. So because we've been doing these things in like units of 2 colors, it might be a bit different, but that's because red's so freaking enormous. Before we get into it, we've got a rating system. We go from good to bad. It's a very freeform rating system at this point. It's starting to break apart because people who come on don't really understand what good and bad and niche mean, but it's functional. Anyway, good cards are good. You start them in your deck because they are the cards that hit home runs. They are consistently good whenever you draw them, and sometimes even when you don't draw them. And they are reasons you want to play the set. Then you have playable cards. Playable is our C rating, our mediocre but still decent rating. These are the cards you play because you need level 0s, level 1s, level 2s, and level 3s. And as a result, you'll always have a number of playables in your deck. But just because we call it a playable card doesn't mean it can't be a playmaker. Doesn't mean it can't be like a powerful card in your deck. So your mileage may vary, but playable is by no means a poor rating. Next we have niche, which also isn't a poor rating. It just means these cards need more support or they only go in one deck, and therefore you can't really rate them as a generally good, mediocre, or bad card. And then we've got bad, and if you don't know what bad means, I'd suggest going to find a dictionary of some sort because it's pretty self-explanatory. Finally, we've got a meta rating, basically refers to any card that we think stands out so much that if you were to try and win a tournament and ignore any preference or bias towards series, the meta cards would be the reason you would pick this deck to run. Those are getting rarer and rarer these days because there's a lot of, blending of effects and homogeneity in card effects. But, well, it's pretty clear when some cards are meta, I think. Anyway, let's get going with the first card of the set, Future Goal. Coco. It's a 002K. When this attacks, give another one of your character, or choose any character rather, and give that character 500 power for the turn, and it's a attack phase mill runner. So at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you may mill 1 if it is either a Rabbit House or Dear My Sister character, so that applies to both the old red-blue deck and the new Dear My Sister decks. You may move this to an empty slot in the front row. So it's a runner, it gives you pluses. Everyone knows, hopefully at this point, what runners do and what they're good for. If you don't understand what runners are good for, basically they mean they give you a free attacker on the next turn. You don't have to commit any cards, and therefore you are going quote-unquote +1 in card advantage. Does anyone have any thoughts on this runner?
Are runners considered good, or are they just playable at this point?
I think we've slowly moved them to like playable plus range. Some of them they have additional good effects. It's like good minus, but yeah, this one specifically I think is, it's just playable plus. It's a level 0 plus, and we've been rating those. We've been rating those playable plus for like the last half year or so, I think.
Sounds good to me.
Yep, I can agree.
Yeah, it attacks as a 2/5 sometimes, which is better than nothing, but it doesn't defend as a 2/5, which has come up occasionally. I still think both those like ridiculous edge cases, and this is just a plus. So we can probably move on.
Okay.
Next card. Welcome, Coco. It's a 3295. It is a heal when it either comes to play when you play it from hand or when you put it into play from memory. Shenanigans. When it attacks, you can pay 2 ditch 1 to burn, so it's an on-attack burn with no requirement, which is fine. And when you play the gate to Daima into the climax zone, if you're level 3 or higher, and this is in memory, you may put this onto your stage, which is so this is supposed to be part of a weird wombo combo with the Okairi climax, which is a gate, because there's a Chino which lets you sub in the climaxes. And we can talk about that when we talk about the Chino next time, but I personally don't think that's the play. Before I go on about that, does anyone else have any thoughts about this card?
This card's really awkward since it says put it on empty slot. And having played this deck, you can easily fill your board, and if your opponent just crashes in, you just sit with 2 or 3 of these in memory and wonder what you're doing.
How often does that really happen, though? Like, what is
It
big?
really doesn't, because your
like,
is super weak all the time.
Like, kind of, but I mean, at the same time, it's like you still can have more open slots. It means that you have to play overcard. Like if you're like I played the restand combo, and there were multiple times when I would just have to play Chinos over like Brainstorm so that I could actually have open slots to play this card.
I feel like if you play the version with the Musashi as opposed to the restander, though, it's a lot easier to open up lanes for when you want to summon them. Plus, again, your field is like generally really weak. Like, if you don't run the 7k beater, your highest is like a 5k at level 1. So it's pretty irrelevant. Most of the time,
6K.
they're going to kill you. Mocha's
Yeah.
almost 6K.
No, Coco is 6k because she gets 2k if your whole board's DMS.
Which one is that? The
The combo.
whatever.
Yeah.
6k still nothing.
Yeah. I mean,
No
like, I think the deck can still early play, and so like Rize has a potential to live.
But yeah, regardless, it's pretty relevant that it's empty stage in my opinion. The card's just just okay. It's for the deck.
Yeah, it's for the deck. It's easily niche. But
I do think niche is probably where you put it, simply because you need to. Well, firstly, you need to play the card that puts this into memory, and that card is very specifically for Dear My Sister, the Dear My Sister deck, and that can either be the mono red bakery deck or it can be the red blue Dear My Sister deck. But either way, this card goes into those decks, and it's some pretty good value late game. Like you just have the gate, and then you play it, and suddenly you've healed 3 times for no stock cost, and that stock can go towards burning your opponent to death, which is fine. It's not as good as the old Coco Chino combo, but I think there's something to be said about getting some good value for no stock cost and just a climax play. This doesn't get any additional power or anything, so it's probably not going to be particularly powerful, but it also doesn't need to reverse anything, so I think it's perfectly serviceable. I think it's very easy to get 2 of these into memory and just get value late game, and it's a reasonable payoff for the either the mono red bread deck or the red blue Dear My Sister deck. But I do agree it's niche. Does anyone have any other thoughts on it?
It's definitely better in practice than on paper.
yeah,
Like I thought it was like garbage when I first saw it, but after like playing with it and borrowing and playing with like my friends Dear My Sister deck, it's okay.
Just play a climax and get a bunch of beaters. So
It's pretty fun to actually use sometimes.
it's also a lot easier to get in memory than it looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, you're playing for the Rize thing, right?
Yeah.
Not the literal Rize, unfortunately. I can't say
On
that
that
because
On reverse.
well,
It's on death.
it's not literal Rize. It's on death, not reverse. The reverse is the Rize effect. The send to memory is the on death effect.
No, it's on play,
Uh,
isn't
When
it?
it hits, no, the mocha's when it hits waiting room.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Somebody's been cheating.
Yeah, I have been.
yeah. No,
Oh
I'm.
no, he's right. It is when it's reversed. Wait, that's weird as fuck.
What are you talking about?
The
We'll get
card
to it.
that
We'll
puts
get
in
to it.
memory.
Yeah, the effect is on reverse, but the center memory thing is on like stage 2 waiting room, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
GG.
Anyway, I'm just calling this flat niche. I don't think this is overwhelmingly powerful. I do think it's like a reasonable payoff, and it makes the deck fine. But I also question why you don't just play Gochiusa in the deck and clog up with this and the
Because it's not near my sister.
not actually Rize. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you're only playing
Dear My
this in.
Sister, you're playing it, so you're playing Dear My Sister.
Yeah, you're not playing this in red ever.
Otherwise, you just play
And
Brad.
I'd also like to point out I don't think this is this plus the 1/0 sack counter is still not good enough to make it the choice over the 3/2 Gochiusa. So
Definitely not.
Oh no.
that. Okay. Well, that's that card. Am I still cutting out, or
No.
we're not going
Good.
to talk about the Chino right now? We'll talk about it when we get to Chino, because the Coco can be played standalone, whereas the Chino
Yeah.
can't. Welcome Rize. It's a 3/2 5. It's an advanced summon for the I guess for the Dear My Sister deck. If there are 2 or fewer climax cards in the waiting room, this gets -1 level in hand. When this is placed from hand to state, you may look the top 3 cards of your deck to hand and then put them. And at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you may pay 1. If you do, choose your other character in the front row center slot and this card, stand and swap them, and this gains 1k power for the turn. So, this card was almost really obnoxious.
It's okay. I run it in red. It's like, it's actually pretty serviceable as an early play, and I think it's actually a pretty decent replacement for the early play Rize and Rabbit House, which also opens up more slots in the Rabbit House deck. But overall, like the cards, it's pretty okay. It just kind of sucks that it's center slot.
Isn't this way too weak on offense?
You're usually just doing it just for the dig for the climax, honestly. And it's just a body, especially in like bread and stuff. A lot of your cards are really weak, and with the event in memory, it also makes it a little bit bigger, so it makes it like an 11 on offense, which is okay.
But you can't pump this with the event because it's.
Oh, I know,
not-
right? It's only Coco and
Yeah.
Oka, right? Whatever. It's still whatever. It's just an early play. You just want the climax, and because if you somehow ever whiff your Coco Chino climax, you just want to die.
I like it in the Dear My Sister deck as extra dig because the only things you have in that deck besides it are a draw 1 2K, and I think that if you want to try and hit the gate, then the door, then it gives you more options.
The card's just okay. I think it's like playable. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It's nice to have.
I'd call it
fine.
playable.
Yeah.
It's like, frustratingly, it doesn't work in the bread deck very well because the support doesn't actually support it, does it?
Kind of.
Well, you don't run the back row Coco with mom usually because it's kind of just a waste of space and you don't really want to play it a lot of the time because you'd rather be playing the Brainstormer and the Cocoa that bounces when you play the Stock Soul. So so usually you don't really care. It does work on it though. I'm pretty sure it's just global 15. I might be wrong. No, you're right. It's just Cocoa and Mochas as well. But except for the climax. But yeah, again, it's just you don't play it regardless. I cut it out of my list, and I think so did other people.
That's fair enough.
And most of the bread deck is actually Rabbit House, so you can grab it off Rize and everything too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you could
best-
just play the 2/1 normal, the 2/1 Coco support that you used to.
Right, that card's garbage.
Best part about the bread deck is that all the stuff that salvages bread and Rabbit House.
Yeah, because
Wait,
what
you
I
mean
think.
just the Ricky, right?
The Ricky
No,
and the Brainstorm.
The Brainstorm does too.
The Brainstorm salvages anything.
No, I thought
Oh,
it just
it's
salvages
Rabbit House.
Red Rabbit House.
Which Brainstorm are we talking about?
The Cocoa.
Self-tap Cocoa?
That salvages anything.
Really?
Sure, I
All
thought I
salvage
swore...
Brainstorms are salvage anything. They're not trade
No,
restricted.
I'm pretty sure it's actually trade restricted.
Um,
I mean, I know the
it's-
Twins Brainstorm and LB is definitely not salvage
It-
anything.
It's trait restricted.
Yeah, bread and rabbit.
GG.
Not that it matters, because like it just can't grab Sharo and Chia, and if you're putting Sharo and Chia in your deck, you're probably
Well,
doing
now,
something.
well, like you
Well,
could have put
nowadays,
the runner in
now you don't want the
before,
runner.
but now you don't.
Yeah, you had the runner before, but
Yeah.
Okay, so
your everything basically grabbed everything, so it's fine. It's playable.
let's just establish that Tom got wrecked and move on.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yeah. Look, this
It's
card
just
is
a
like playable, I
brainstorm,
think.
guys.
Just- It's just a vanilla salvage rainstorm.
Yeah, this Frieze is like playable. That's all, I think.
Yep.
Okay, Big Sister Mocha. It's a 3/2, 3/2 10k. When this is placed from end stage, you may discard a card from your hand to waiting room. If you do, put the top card of your clock in stock. And when the battle opponent of this is reversed, you may pay 2, ditch 2. If you do, deal X damage to your opponent, where X is the number of your other characters with either Coco or Mocha in name.
Yeah, this card's fantastic.
This card's amazing. I actually love this card.
This card is really, really frustrating to play against. Ugh.
It's really, really strong.
This
It's
slots
probably-
in. This goes in like. You can put this in
every
any
red
deck,
deck.
actually. You can put this in any deck. You can even put it in the new Rabbit House deck.
Yeah, you put it in Rabbit House, but anything that runs red. That's just you throw it in, it works perfectly fine. Customizable burn.
And sometimes it's even better than the. Sometimes it can be better than the third Gochiusa even. So.
Mhm. I've used it over the third.
Just keep in mind you can't actually. This does not have Rabbit House trait.
Yeah, but
It does not.
in bread it doesn't matter. It has red trait.
I know, but if you want to play the exact old Gochiusa deck without adding bread stuff, you can't just get this from anything.
Yeah, you have to Reiki into it, which is okay. Or you
It's
draw
not
it.
great, but
You draw
mean,
2 drop one into it too off the Gochiusa.
yeah, that's
it's
usually what I think would happen.
Yeah.
This card is off. Yeah,
It's really nice, and that's where you also replace the Rize early play for the healer. This becomes your new healer in most cases.
My only issue with the card is the amount of hand it uses.
yeah, that's my issue with it as well. It's just so expensive.
I don't know, I usually don't have a problem with hand, at least in bread. In Rabbit House, I can understand it being a bit more of an issue, but that's why I still only run 2 of it.
Okay, here's the thing. In Rabbit House, wouldn't you rather just triple Gochiusa? Because that should
No.
kill them.
Sometimes the damage numbers are better if you account for the burn.
What
Sometimes
do
it's
you
just better. Sometimes
Like,
sometimes the
this
damage
can
just works
put-
out better. Like if they're at say they're at 3-0, right? The third Gochiusa isn't better than this Mocha. Because you're gonna burn for 3. Right? You attack for 3, burn for 3 in the last attack. Assuming the attacks get cancelled. Right.
Okay, sure.
I'm just saying, it's the fact that it's customizable means that you can sculpt your damage to be better than the third Gochiusa.
It's really, really good. Like it actually comes up pretty often.
Not to mention, this is also
Okay,
less.
sure.
This
I'll
is also
believe you.
less stock intensive than third Gochiusa.
Yeah, because
Sure.
it pays for itself.
It also
and it's
gives
on
you a
reverse.
win con.
And it's on.
It gives you a
reverse,
win con in
so-
the kimono match.
You know
Uh,
what's
I don't-
really funny? This card procs on your opponent's turn.
Yeah, that's what I was
had
about
it
to
happen
say.
once. Somebody forgot. It was great.
like if they sat counter and then they ram into it, and it's like,
Mhm.
gotcha. Yeah, no,
It's a pretty feel good moment.
this card does seem very solid. It is just a really good. I guess it's a good splashable finisher into any deck playing red. Yeah, what can I say? It's probably like a good card, good minus, somewhere
Good.
around there.
Yeah,
Really-
I would have it a good minus as well.
Mhm.
No disagreements?
Yeah, it's not like
Fine.
overwhelmingly broken or anything.
No.
It's like not quite as good Chizuru, but that's really high praise if you ask me.
I'm a fan.
And it's just not difficult to get damage numbers to line up well. You can usually make it burn 3. Alright, next card. Welcome, Mocha. It's a 00500. When this is reversed in battle, you may reveal up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. If you reveal any cards this way, choose up to 1 Dear My Sister character you find there, add it to hand, ditch the rest, and then discard a card. So we have the Rize effect, but it's on Mocha, not Rize. And then when this is placed from stage to waiting room, aka when it dies, when it goes from stage to waiting, yes. You may choose a level 3 Coco in your waiting room and add it to memory. This is how you get the Coco into memory for your Tadaima or Kari. I don't remember which one it is for the gate summon effect. So you know your free heals. It's completely tacked on to a card which was already fine. You were already going to play it in that deck, and you probably will play it in the Bread and Dear My Sister decks.
You actually don't.
Because...
You play Rize instead.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. You can play Rize instead. But if you are playing the 3/2 Mocha, or not Mocha, 3/2 Coco, I don't think it's a big price to have to play this card, really.
No, definitely not. I think this card's like niche plus. It's just it's one of the better cards in the Dear My Sister deck, and it's mandatory. So
Yeah. I dare say this is probably the second best card in the Dear My Sister deck. Like, second or third best card.
It's a card I saw like my friend who owns the deck just salvaged it a lot because yeah, they're losing board, but I mean that deck loses board on the opponent's turn anyway, so not really a big deal.
And it's just like the best source of milling Dear My Sister has. So
I mean I've got rather moderate feelings about whether mill is super necessary or not, but I think it's certainly good at getting you out of bad situations for several reasons, and it is like pseudo selectivity, especially in a deck that wants to get several pieces together. So I was a bit hesitant, but now you talked me around. Niche plus seems about right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, so next card is for you, Rize. It's a 0015. This one is not bread trade, so it goes into Rabbit House or Dear My Sister. It is a global 500 for Rabbit House and Dear My Sister, and when your character's trigger check reveals a climax card, any climax card, give a character 1k for the turn. I don't know why this is a rail, like, this does not seem like it should be a rail. I mean, well, that's not true. There have been a lot of trashy rares recently, and this is arguably a trashy rail. But this could totally have been like a TD card or like a bad uncommon. If you can't tell, I don't think this card is worth very much. This is like playable minus in the worst sense.
In its defense, I do kind of like it a little bit more than the old Global 5 Rize from that was in Rabbit House, just because it can make Chinos get over things that they shouldn't sometimes, and it's just kind of nice.
I feel like if you're relying on a Global 500 in the old Rabbit deck, you might have been playing that deck wrong. I never wanted a Global 500 in that deck.
I mean, I always ran the. I like the Rize Global because it also just killed zeros, but this one's just it's okay. I didn't see a reason not to run the Rize.
Sure, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I still think it's playable minus, but it's not like garbage tier. It's just like it's a decent Global 5 if you want a Global 5.
I've never valued paying 1 to pop a level 0, except exactly in the case of Kaban, and I'm not even sure that matters very much. Because they're going to get a Kaban at some point, because otherwise how are you playing your game? So this might be a strict upgrade. I don't know. I think that card was like an extremely mediocre slot anyway. So this is playable minus in that, yeah, okay, play it, I guess. But sometimes I say I'm not going to blame you for playing a card. With this card, I might blame you.
I don't think it's terrible in Dear My Sister, but it's just like a deck that wants slots, and this just is a target that pluses you off your combo. So whatever, but it helps, sort of.
I'm going to be real. I haven't brewed with the Dear My Sister deck, but if this was a card you have to end up playing in that deck, I'm not optimistic about how good that deck really is.
That deck's level 0 game outside of Brainstorm, Rize, and Runner is really sketchy, in my opinion.
It has to run a really bad level 0 blue card just for blue fix. It's really not that great.
Yeah, yeah, it does.
Really?
Oh.
Alright, well, I'm sticking with playable minus. What do you guys think?
I will stick with playable minus.
Yeah, alright. Next card then. In place of me, Coco. This is a 103k. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may choose one of your opponent's level 1 or lower characters and return to hand. If so, your opponent chooses a level 0 or lower character in their waiting room, put it in that card's slot, and that card gains Rabbit for the turn. This is a really interesting card.
I like the
I
art.
think, like, doesn't this just, it's not a may. Your opponent can't choose not to put a card into their waiting room.
It's like
So,
targeting
from
missile.
their waiting room.
They have to.
Yeah, it's like target whistle, I guess. It's not like target whistle. It's nothing
No,
like target
it's
whistle.
not.
Basically, this
I just
is
wanted to say
a
that.
really, because the
shit.
Rabbit House deck had a weakness that a lot of people were targeting, which was they had to get their reverse stuff at level 1 to like snowball into their level 2 and 3 game. This confirms a level 1 slot for them. Like it bounces like a Joker or a level 1 pseudo wall, and then they have to put like a level 0 there. And unless they have a non-empty field and have a runner in the bin, which is very possible, fair enough, they just have to accept that you're going to get a reverse. And that is a pretty good effect, if you ask me.
But they get a +1 as well.
Well, they get a plus, but again, that's not super relevant when all you care about is getting your pluses. Because in like this isn't Final Fantasy. This isn't Magic. Like your opponent can get pluses. It's like whatever. I get my pluses. I get to do my stuff, and that's what matters. I really think
playing this, but
I think the problem with this card is just that it doesn't do anything else.
yeah, if it had like
that's
a
fine.
bomb or something.
But like in my admittedly limited experience with the Gochiusa deck prior to this booster, I would often find myself just doing the combo, getting like a +1 after, you know, getting 2 reverses, getting a +1, and then like brainstorm, ram a couple of random dudes. This card does that fine. Like it just sits in the back row, you shift it up, it runs in. That's not a problem. Like I'm totally okay with that if I'm just getting stock and managing to keep up. Is that not something that, like, this does the filler job really, really well, if you ask me?
I think so too, but the bread deck, or at least the bread deck that you want to place in, I don't know if you necessarily have the space because all you really want to play.
Think this isn't bread trade.
Oh well, I mean, like bread trades or bread still can play Rabbit House.
It's irrelevant. Yeah, it's irrelevant. You play Rabbit House.
Sure.
All of your things
Yeah.
are Rabbit.
So like, I think in like that deck and even in Rabbit House, like your only good level 1 cards you want to play are Bomb and whatever your combo is, and then you're still trying to find space for this, and it's really hard.
Yeah,
My other thought about bread specifically is that if you play Hot Bakery, then it's very hard for you to not win a row. Like your opponent has to have a godlike wall to do anything, whereas with Gochiusa, your opponent has to have like an average wall, and unless you have a great draw of like +1/5s and everything that you need, you're having trouble getting over it. This helps solve that issue a lot, I think.
To be fair, like Chino's only ever like 500 weaker than like a singular Mocha. So
Yeah, sure, but Hot Bakery is like a card you play in multiples, and
you never put
suddenly
in memory. Like
Sorry?
I think in the times I played with the deck, I think I've only ever put Hot Bakery in memory. In like more than one in memory, like twice.
I feel like why even run that package then?
Because
There's no point to running that package then.
you run it for the Amagi, the drop to mill 4.
You can't play that. You can't use that effect unless you send it to memory.
No, you throw 1 in memory. You only need 1. Like I'll throw 1 in memory, and then I'll never throw another one in.
Sure, but you just said you don't put it into memory, so.
No, I don't put more than like a singular one. I'm sorry, that's what I meant. I never put more than 1, and so it's like, you know, you get 1 Mocha that's a 7/5. It's probably not going to get bigger than a 7/5, and you just call it there.
I think this card is like a very specific meta call.
Yeah.
Because ideally, you'd rather just get the reverse normally.
Yeah, if they play a bunch of like
Mhm.
1/1 walls that you just can't get over, sure.
It even, and against some decks, it doesn't even. Some decks field level 2 walls at level 1, so.
Yeah, it's terrible 3-0, terrible against. I
Mostly
mean,
P0.
P5 doesn't matter. Like you're gonna get something against P5. It's just 3-0 really.
Mhm.
And I guess Idolmaster.
Which isn't. That's less of a deck than. It's
Yeah.
mostly going to be ReZero, which, you know, was
Mhm,
pretty
it is a deck.
popular when Gochiusa was in vogue. Might become popular
Yeah.
again if this deck becomes.
I could see it as like a
Back.
10 maybe, if that's the case.
I think this card is super cool. I do think that this is the sort of design that I enjoy seeing, and I am biased. Like I'm gonna admit that I'm biased towards something like this, which actually interacts with your opponent's board. And I really don't value my opponent getting pluses. To be quite honest, it's so hard to starve people out in this game. So I'm gonna rate this as a playable. I don't think it's any better than that really, because it is just like it doesn't do an enormous amount of work.
I'm going
I
to
think
say
I'll just
playable
go snipe.
minus.
It's really
I'm-
cool though.
I'm gonna call it playable minus.
Maybe you're right and it has potential, but I'd rather wait and see.
Oh, that's what everyone said about Yui, and what's
Yeah.
happening now?
Oh my.
This guy stroking his ego.
No,
Alright.
I'm pretty-
Oh.
We just said it was bad and laughed it off. They didn't say there was potential, only you did.
Yeah, but I was right, so checkmate. Coco, somewhat surprised. 104k. If all your characters are Dear My Sister, this gains 2k power, so it's like a 106 game. It's cool. And when this attacks, if you have the that's the
Door.
that's the pants or door.
The door.
The door.
Okay, if you have the door in the climax zone, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a Dear My Sister character, add it to your hand. Otherwise, put it back.
Another in the lineage of 6k on attack reveal plus combos.
Right?
Uh,
The
You play
William, the
lineage.
William from Log Horizon.
This is so underwhelming.
I mean, I
you
like-
can't- You can't even get freaking hot bakery, which is so upsetting.
It's nice in
It
that
grabs
you
Dear My
have a
Sister only,
Rize.
though, so. You wouldn't, even if it did grab Hot Bakery, you probably wouldn't run it because it only grabbed Dear My Sister, and a lot of the Cocoas aren't Dear My Sister great.
Yeah.
Also, you have a better combo in that deck anyway, but
Yeah.
it just upsets me. So, like, I don't think this is a card you want to run, even in that deck.
No, you
I-
kind of have
you-
to run.
You
Dear My
have
Sister.
to.
Oh, so sad.
I mean, oh, okay. Like I said before, it's not
You
as
could've
bad
run the-
when you
yeah.
have on reverse Rize to hand fix.
I mean, he's right though. You could run the Mocha. There's nothing stopping you,
Uh,
but it has Dear My Sister trade. It has everything. You realistically could, but I don't. But then like actually no, you can't unless you want to cut the pants, because it runs the same combo as the level 3. So
Yeah.
unless you wanted to cut the
Yeah, I
pants,
think
with
cutting the
stock
pants
soul,
is right, but
but then you lose out on the 5-card brainstorm. So
yeah.
because the 5-card brainstorm needs both the pants and the gate.
they're really trying to pitch in your whole you here, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
So rough.
although I'm pretty sure
Whatever.
the play is just playing empty pants. It's just playing the empty pants for the 5-card brainstorm, and that's it.
This
But that's
is
just me.
this is niche then by definition then, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is absolutely niche.
Oh, that's sad. This card is not as good as a lot of the other cards I've given niche. It's not even, but it's not niche minus though, because it's not like awful. It's just
It's there.
so utterly mediocre.
Yeah.
It's just there.
It's
You have to
just
play.
This is why you listen to us actually talking about the card instead of just the ratings, because the ratings are not perfect. All right.
Oh no.
That's where I have it. So next card. Anyone else? No, no objections. It seems. All right. Kokos. No, that's the same card. Acting Big Sister. Rize. 104k. If you have the level 3 Coco in your memory, i.e., you're playing that deck with the on reverse Mocha. This gains 3k power. This is fine. I see no issue with
Fine.
this. It's
You don't really want to play the beater slot though, because like Sim was saying before, you really do want your slots open, and this just gives them an excuse to actually be able to crash into something and you miss a Cocoa summon potentially.
I think you don't even want to play this card because you just have the other 105k that's better.
Can't you
I
just
think
sack,
it's like
can't you just sack your board though?
Wait, no, what?
With the counter?
Okay, yeah, but
beforehand, sure you could, but like,
I mean, isn't
I think
that,
I
What,
think
just
isn't that the
I
point?
think it's okay as like one of. I mean, I feel like you'd rather run the counter for like when you need to sack things, not just sacking something for a Cocoa, but sure. I guess if that's an option. But like, I'd rather just not run it, or run it as like a one of maybe, when you really need to beat over something. But I think it's like
I don't even think
Okay.
I don't think it's hard in this deck to beat over stuff when you have Shimakai.
yeah, you can usually get over something.
Yeah.
It's just the card's just like it's okay. Like I wouldn't judge somebody for running it, but I just don't think it's worth it.
Same.
Niche it is then.
Like everything else in the Dear My Sister deck.
Just a,
I just want to say that this card is a lot better than the Coco we just talked about.
oh yeah.
Despite also
Oh, yeah,
getting the same
definitely.
rating. It's really frustrating. We should like have an entire niche, or maybe we just make niche into like
Just like niche playable, niche.
yeah, make niche into a suffix kind of like meta is. Anyway, we'll think about that later. All right. I mean, niche plus minus, whatever. Who cares? Red Musketeer. We should actually do that. Actually, that's a really good idea. Let me note that down. Okay. Red Musketeer Mocha is a 1045. This is the on reverse. No, yeah, this is the on reverse combo we've been
Yep.
kind of mentioning this entire time. When this is placed from hand to stage, it gets 1/5, so it becomes 6k. And when this reverses a battle opponent, if you have the stock soul in the climax zone, you may add a character in your waiting room to hand. Despite being on reverse, despite being with a climax that does not give power, this is a significant bit better than the Coco that we just saw. And I am a big fan of combos that don't go off, combos that don't need to reverse, but I still think this card is miles better.
You can even play this in the Gochiusa deck.
I think that might actually be the play, to be quite honest, but
Stock Soul's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
build up that
Red.
stock.
red strong.
I think Bread is the new meta deck for rabbits because it can play Cocoachino and Stoxel.
Red kind of
That's
just
a
does
terrifying
everything.
thought.
It just does everything that Rabbit House did, but just a little bit better, honestly.
Yeah. I do think that in order for this card to get full potential, you do need to play Hot Bakery, which is a deck limitation. Like, it's not free,
But
but
I don't
it's
think
not
you don't need
real.
Hot Bakery at all.
You know, you
I think it's very helpful.
You don't need
Hot
Hot Bakery at all.
it makes this a 7/5, which is nice because
You
it
know,
kind of.
You can just run the Shimakaze Kai. You don't
You
need
could.
Hot Bakery at all for this deck.
You could, but I actually really like the Hot Bakery, especially with the level 0 Cocoa we're gonna get to eventually. But that's just me. I feel like
I mean, like,
I don't know. I'm biased. I
like,
actually like
the
Hot
functionality you get from Hot Bakery. The only benefit you get is that your stock souls become up. Like you get the plus one in quotes.
Yeah, but you basically
Like
like
you need to -1 to turn that into like an Amagi. So you're essentially it's essentially just functionality that is easily replicated by just playing Rize.
but at least you don't feel as bad when like you get like one Mocha reverse, unless you're only you're only gonna get one. At least if you have the Cocoa, you can play that. It goes back to your hand, and you get the event. So you basically play the combo and you get an extra plus out of it because you're getting a Hot Bakery from waiting room as long as
But
one
it's
is
not a
back.
plus if you have to turn it. But it's not a plus if you want to use the top 4 effect. Essentially, at best, it's clock fodder. If you wanted to keep it as a +1, because Hot Bakery is a native -1. It's like
I think that the idea of it giving 1/5 over several turns is close enough to being worth a card
It's not.
that I'm willing to
It's
overlook
absolutely
it.
not.
I personally.
When have we ever like
I really
evaluated an effect like that?
When it's a effect as significant as 1/5 to one character, we've never had that.
We've had it before. We've
It's
had
never-
Wedding Ring, but that card's trash.
Wedding Ring is center only, and it's like a 2/0. It starts at level 1.
It's
It's
still
tied
not good
to a
enough. It's still not good enough.
Perfectly serviceable package.
This is not good enough.
I can easily see where Tom's coming from with because there are times when you have the card in hand and actively playing it just doesn't do anything, and you can't. And
Like,
there are
what
times you want a
possible?
beater.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased from playing the deck so much, but like overall,
We
I have
literally.
never had a problem.
I mean,
with
I've
Hot Bakery.
literally tested this deck, and basically, if you just take out the Hot Bakery stuff and put in like good cards that you'd want to run instead of the 8 slots devoted to Hot Bakery and the Cocoa, like the deck is still the same, except you don't have to deal with Hot Bakery mucking up your hand and your mulligans and your hand sculpting priorities.
Okay, I can get behind that.
It's just
Yeah,
I'll
like
admit-
it's just like too much effort for something that's so medium in the end.
I haven't tested it. I haven't tested the shell without Hot Bakery, so sure, I can definitely get behind that because, like Tom says, every other effect like this, which just goes to memory and has a power effect on the game, up until now they've not been comparable. Like they're all much worse than this card. But he is right. Like this is just an egg 1 from your hand, and like getting 1/5 over some number of turns. Like I said earlier, it's close to a card. It's still not a card. Like, I would not value that as a full card worth, and therefore expanding one in order to do all of that, you need something pretty significant to catch you back up. So yeah, I can get behind that. So yeah, all right. Let's not factor that into evaluation of this card then. In that case, this is just a look. I don't even think it's playable. Plus, this is just playable.
I think it's
So
still
very
not.
It's very serviceable. It's just
I think it's not hard to find reverses for this card since you have Ricky, and it's easier to hit a level 0 with it, and you only need like 1 or 2 reverses reasonably.
Yeah. Seems good. And you have Shimakai, which is the very next card, I think.
Yes. This.
Yeah. So Shimakai. That's not the actual name of the card. What is it? Kinds Now and Then Rize. It is a 1/05k. When it attacks, give another character with either Rabbit House or Dear My Sister 500 times the number of your other characters with either Rabbit House or Dear My Sister. So this is hopefully a 2k pump. Ironically, if you're playing the Hot Bakery stuff, this might just be a 1/5 pump. But that doesn't matter since Hot Bakery gives 1/5. This is pretty good. I think even if you're playing the old Chino stuff, this is well worth playing because that's the goal of that deck.
Shimakai is fine.
Solid level
Okay.
1 attacker.
This is also playable. I think our standards are getting harder and harder, but might have to revisit this evaluation system. But
hard
yeah,
when-
playable.
They keep remaking the same cards over and over.
Uh-huh.
You're not wrong. Okay, a winter outfit, Rize. It's a 2/16k. All of your other level 3 Coco from this set and level 3 Chino from this set gain 500 power, so it's almost flavor text to be honest. And assist, all your level 3 or high characters in front gain 2k power. So
Dude.
this is actually just a Dear My Sister 2k support. I don't value that top bit at all.
I'm pretty sure that the
Yeah.
500 actually is flavor text because none of the level 3s mentioned actually need to reverse anything.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They can attack it. 10k power.
Ooh.
Oh wow, you got me. I'm
Whatever.
very uninterested in this
Hey
card.
man, if 2k counters are that much better than 1500 counters, like
I
this
don't think
card's
they
clearly amazing.
are. I've never thought they are. That's a discussion for another day. Wall decks aren't predicated on the presence of a 2k counter. They're predicated on the presence of good baseline wall type beaters. That's how it always has been. Okay, next this card is, I'm pretty confident in calling this bad, to be honest.
Oh, I mean, it's a Dear My Sister's trait.
Yeah,
2K6.
I think you probably do run it as like at least a 1-up. So I think
I'm gonna-
I think
Niche minus?
Yeah, I'd call it niche
Niche
minus.
Whatever.
it's not
Nice.
bad. It's still a 3. It's still a level 3 assist. It's still okay.
That's
rock
so
card.
depressing. Whatever. Okay, fine. Niche minus sounds about right, because you never play this outside the Dear My Sister deck, but it is a card in the Dear My Sister deck, I suppose. Okay. Bread Musketeer, Coco's mom. That's actually the card's name.
Yep.
It doesn't have an actual name.
It needs Coco and name.
216K. Yep, it does have Coco and name. If you have the Climax, the stock soul in the Climax zone, all your other characters gain 1k power, so this is like a 2008 Climax combo, and thankfully it has other text. If Hot Bakery is in your memory, all your other characters with Coco or Mocha in name gain 1/5 power. I'm sorry it didn't have other text, that's my bad. If we're not playing Hot Bakery, this card is obviously not particularly good.
This
card still isn't good.
This card's
niche.
bad.
It's like niche minus. Is it bad?
I don't even
Is
think
it
it's niche minus. I think this card's
bad?
actually
Bad?
bad.
I think it's just bad. Like,
Okay,
the more
I
One
can
of these
get behind
guys,
that.
harsh audience here.
the more I played with this card, the more I realized how much I don't want this card. Like, I would see the card in my hand,
Oops.
and even when I was like level 2 or 3, I would still never find a time I wanted to play it.
Is this
I can agree
not
with that sentiment.
The Mocha level 3? Like, if the Mocha level 3... Doesn't the Mocha level 3 this card?
It
What
could.
happened?
Yeah, you could.
You could account it, but
Um,
but you have so many other Coco and Mochas to make your thing matter. And like, and again, if you run Hot Bakery, that's also a way to buff
So-
the Mocha. So
Yeah, but all reverse is nice, right? Because it's up on its own burn.
If you're running Hot Bakery, sure. Like, this could be okay for the Mocha Healer.
I think there are just better cards you'd rather play. Oh,
Or
the
you could play like a 1500 pump on play.
Yeah.
Or
yeah, there's just or the Shimakai or
you could play the 2/1 assist from the extra booster.
I actually replaced this with the with like another copy of the early play killer because I actually like that card a lot.
I do too.
Yeah, this card's
So
just bad.
we've talked about like 6 different cards which all do a similar job, but maybe better. Let's call this card bad then. That seems fine
Yup.
to me. It does come in secret rare, and she is cute for whatever
Does
that's
it?
worth.
I do have the
man, Alflex,
I already have it.
lollies, and moms. That's
That's pretty
That's not
diverse taste.
that's not how whatever. That's not how any of this works.
Won't even deny it
that's
anymore.
definitely how it works.
Oh baby.
Irreplaceable treasure. So oh god, this is best shot support.
Cool.
3295.
So let's just skip.
Is this bad? What did
come
you
on, we
guys
gotta-
rate best shot? I don't remember.
Probably
This-
bad.
Dank meme.
Or
We
dank
dated
meme.
a
Oh
dank
yeah,
meme.
yeah. That's right. That's right. Over
Do
here.
you just keep the trend and just name them all Dank Meme?
Dank meme meta plus. There we go.
Boom.
Okay.
I don't think the Meta Plus came to play, but alright. So 3295 gives the character opposite neg 1 soul. Up to once a turn, when you reverse something, you may pay to ditch a card with ditch a character card, sorry, with either best shot or treasure in name to the waiting room. If you do, mill 4. If there are 2 or more cards with soul trigger icons there, you may stand this card.
Everything is a soul trigger in that deck.
Everything's a top end.
Also-
Everything's top end. This is a top end for best shot.
This
Too-
is actually fairly consistent in that deck, especially because this card's approximately 80,000 power, because you've given up the privilege of 4 of 8 climaxes in deck in order to get all this power. This is what happens when you wish for immortality on the Dragon Balls. Yeah, it's a restander in that deck. Dank meme meta plus. Let's move on.
I can safely say I forgot this card actually existed in the set.
I do too until I
Well, now you've been reminded. That's the purpose of these set reviews. To
Woo!
Tell everyone these awful cards exist. Welcome, Coco's mother. 0015. After twice a turn, when another character with Coco or Mocha is placed from hand stage, this gains 1k, but it's oh god. I thought it said that card gains
Oh,
1k.
that'd be awesome.
That's better.
That would be.
That'd be pretty cool.
It wouldn't be awesome because this card is like,
But it'd be considerable. I think it'd be a reason.
it'd be better than it is now.
Yeah.
When this is reversed in battle, you may put this in your clock. If you do, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a character card with Coco or Mocha name, add it to hand. So even this card, which clearly only goes in the Hot Bakery deck, doesn't let you put Hot Bakery into your hand.
As long as you pop bakery, or does it even go in that deck because you want to run Reese's in that deck?
This is upsetting. I mean, it goes into the deck in that, Three Sisters, no one else.
Yeah, if you only want to run mono Hoto family, sure. But
Hot. Oh.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the whole play on it.
Oh my
Hey.
god.
Hot bakery.
Wow.
The more you know, the more you know.
I'm not a
this card is
lolicon,
like-
so I didn't know
It's
about
the
this,
best.
but
It's the best part.
this
You
is
know,
like the
I,
deepest. This is like the
About their family.
deepest lore right here.
Dude, it's the best part about their family. They're all just hot drinks, and then they have a hot bakery. That's also their family name. It's 11 out of 10.
Wow.
I'm
Holy.
feeling the same awakening as Tom right now. Oh my god.
This card was really good in Kimono because it color fixed for a color that you just didn't run that much of. So you could
Yeah.
run it as a card that, gives you the color you need, because one of your very powerful meta cards, it requires blue. But you don't want to, you don't want to clock any of your blue cards, except for that one. This card is, way worse, because I don't think any Gochiusa deck has any shortage of red cards. So
Cards bad.
yeah,
Cards straight
I'm
bad.
it's
I'm
I wanna
impressed
say-
at how this card is.
man, why?
Uh,
Oh man,
Cards
Like, if
bad,
you're gonna
especially-
design a thematic deck around an event and make it so it should only play
Nothing grabs it.
these three characters, you don't screw something like this up. I'm upset at this game, like this card design. It makes me unhappy. And
It's because they wanted the
well.
stupid climax combo to grab it. That's literally the only reason. They made nothing else grab it because then it invalidates the other level 0 part of the climax.
this is
So-
bad. I don't like this card. This is
Everything
bad.
got shorted because of that card.
It is bad.
Yeah.
Bad card.
That card.
No.
Hell
Alright,
yeah.
Next card, Bread Musketeer Coco. So this is the card we were talking about that did the Amagi stuff. It's a 002k. If you have Hot Bakery in your memory, this gains the ability, look, so stay with me. You need Hot Bakery in the memory, and then you get the ability to, as a startup, so anytime during your turn, ditch another copy of Hot Bakery from your hand to the waiting room, to look it up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, add 1 Coco or Mocha to your hand, and then put the rest in waiting room. So it becomes like, I'm not going to call it Azza because a huge part of Azza's effectiveness is being able to discard climaxes, but this is like a pseudo Amagi effect. But you can't even call it that because it doesn't
so
plus.
time delayed as well,
Is
and
it?
it's only because you have to
Yeah, you have to have climax.
Oh,
or
here's-
say the climax.
Here's the problem with this card, this package. To use this immediately, you need 2 of the Hot Bakery in your hand already. To get more Hot Bakeries in your hand, you need to play the Stock Soul. So, in early game hand sculpting, are you really prioritizing holding Hot Bakery over other good cards that you want to play?
Well, you're definitely playing 1 Hot Bakery, right?
Sure, but that's what I mean by by it being time delayed. If you're only gonna hold 1 Hot Bakery, you're not getting that mill until next turn.
I mean, that's the same logic with the Cosmi, the Operation Tornado from Cosmi, isn't it? It's delayed mill too.
Yeah, and that card's only good because it has an insane PR.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but I think it's perfectly fine, especially because you can, you could potentially, if you really wanted to, before you even have the Hot Bakeries, you could play 2 of these,
But
play the stock soul.
But why are you holding these in your hand over like good cards? Like, you know.
Sometimes you just draw them. You're running 4. Like if they're clock fodder. Sure, I clock this card like as long as they have one.
Look, his question is like, why are we running this? You can't use the arguments I'm running 4 anyway to dispute that, and then you can't also say like I understand where you're coming from. Like if you're making the theme deck and sticking to the theme, then yes, by default you run 4 because it is that's like the base of the deck. That is the fundamentals, the platform on which your deck stands. But when we ask what's the point of running this when in order to get any payoff you need to neg 1, you need to draw multiples, and then it's not even something you can immediately do all the time. Like we don't count the ability to do it next turn as being timely enough.
If this procced on any climax, I would be much more like friendly to this card. But the problem is this also only procs on the stock soul. So
I don't think that actually is a big factor in it.
I mean if we're talking about mid game pluses.
No, like
it would be
if we want to talk.
It would be slightly better.
I don't think like this card is. Look, if we're going to take the position that Hot Bakery is not a card worth running, and fair enough, I've been talked to that position. Then something as small as that should not be the deciding factor as to whether this is a card.
It would just be like, it's just
like
another annoying thing about this
my
combo.
evaluation at all.
It's just another thing about this package that's really annoying. You have to have the stock soul to bounce back to your hand.
You don't like. You have maybe 1 or 2 turns where it is realistic to play a second stock soul and have this bounce to your hand before you want to be playing other stuff anyway. So you do have that point. But either way, I don't think this card by itself makes Hot Bakery worth playing. Like for example, if it said like, have I even read the whole thing? I have read the whole thing.
It's literally just. Are we talking about the event?
What if it said when 3 Sisters is placed in your climax zone, you may choose a Hot Bakery and another character in your waiting room return it to your hand.
Oh, that'd be cool. Or if Hot Bakery was like wasn't just like a straight minus, right? And what if Hot Bakery was like a draw ditch or something? Like a draw. Sorry, like a draw.
Not a draw ditch. Definitely not a draw ditch.
Sorry, yeah, just a draw. That'd be cool too. Like I'd be on board.
A cantrip, sure.
Yeah.
But the problem all stems from the fact that Hot Bakery is a minus to begin with, and even though I went to bat for the card because I've played against it. I played 1 game with it, and I felt it was a really neat take on the really shitty Testament / Icarus / Wedding Ring event series, right? But look, it is true that you still have to straight up neg. It is nice that it doesn't cost stock for once, which is like it's actually rare. These events usually cost stock to add insult to injury. This one does not, thank God. But it is still minus. You're paying nothing to minus as opposed to paying 1 to minus. And you don't actually get enough back. That's fair enough.
So
this card doesn't make up for it.
Just to talk, just because like I've been playing with this card for so long now. Like I know the event's a -1, and that's definitely a big downside. But like I just feel like the bread deck just gets hand so much. It's even if you just use this combo like once. I understand it's a delayed mill. It sucks. But like, it really just like your hand fills up so fast that I feel like the -1 realistically doesn't matter. And one of my biggest problems.
Like, I've actually.
When you play this, you get the card back. So like I know you played 1 and you minused it, but you're getting it back from playing this card and playing the stock soul. So you're getting the event right back to hand. You go even on that. Then you get your Mocha, which if it gets a reverse, that's a card right there.
So no, that's a break even because playing the climax.
Place your climax.
Not,
if you get multiple Mochas, boom. Like I'm just saying, like your hand, you maintain hand size fairly well, even when you play this and you played an event.
But if you maintain hand size pretty well, even while you play this, why would you even play this event? Like why would you not just play this event and then play like extra Rizes, even like the Dear My Sister Rize? Like you're essentially just like you're not even getting +1s from this. it is just like a very limited Azusa until you get to loop the stock soul the second time.
Yeah, I see what your point is, and I agree. Like, I know exactly what you're saying. I think it's just like one of my biggest problems with like Rabbit House as a deck was that the only card I had to like mill was ever Rize.
But now you have another Rize though. You can run the
Yeah,
Mocha.
but I don't. But if you run the Mocha, then it misses all of your Rizes.
Doesn't matter. You have a lot of you have a sizable amount of targets for the Dear My Sister Rize if you just, like run the cards. Like you have good Dear My Sister cards to run in that deck, like the Mocha Healer, like the Shimakai, like the Runner, like itself, right?
I guess,
but so much effort.
The Mocha is also still an on death or on reverse, which does matter.
I think that's way better than this. I think that's way better than this card.
I like this card personally, but I see what your point is. Like I genuinely do.
I think it's fine to like
and
this
I
card.
think
it's a fine card. It's just like
I see your point in running the Mocha. Personally, I just don't like the on death Mocha. I would rather run this. I can like completely understand dropping it, and I see no problem with it. But I think the card is like perfectly serviceable in what it does, and because I don't lose hand, and again, like you said, if you ever loop the second stock soul, then it starts going. It's worth it enough to me.
I mean,
but at that point,
it all comes down to just one. It comes down to one thing, right? The initial Hot Bakery play. It's the quality of that card. So, playing that card to begin with is the neg that we're all riled up about, and then the +1/5 from that is ultimately the only real payoff you get from it. Sometimes that enables your like your second Mocha to get reversed. Like if you go Mocha, Shimakai, Mocha, and then Hot Bakery lets the second Mocha get an easy reverse. Sometimes that happens. It's not very common. Sometimes whatever, but like Tom said, it's whether you value that 1/5 overturns enough to be a card that really like that. Because if you don't, the Hot Bakery's a neg, and we've all accepted that. And if that's the case, this card, it tries. It really, really tries. It nearly gets there even. Like, I think this is a very good effort to try and make that sort of profile of card not a complete joke. Because up till now, they've been a complete joke. Like, an utter joke to everyone who's not playing freaking Kantai waifu decks. And it was a good effort. But ultimately, it's just not quite enough. Because if it really was enough, we probably wouldn't have any issue calling it like broken, and it is clearly not broken.
I would leave it at playable. I think the card is 100% playable.
Oh man, it's niche. It's got to be niche because Hot Bakery.
Yeah, sure.
Like,
I understand. You have to run the.
This also only gets Cocoa and Mocha cards, so like.
I mean, that's the bread deck. You know what? Let's trial this new system. Let's make niche into like a into a subset, into like the same category as meta.
Can't do that right now.
I know you can't, but we can talk about it.
Sure.
So I'm gonna call this playable minus niche.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna agree with playable minus niche. I have yet to try it without the Hot Bakery stuff, but I can definitely get behind it.
Let's just.
I'd also have to try it, but.
I definitely would not attack anyone for like playing the Hot Bakery stuff because the cards are cute, the deck theme is cute, and like this is a very valiant attempt at making that event and that deck serviceable. And for that, I actually applaud whoever designed this. Like you tried, and that's way more than most people can say for most sets. But ultimately, I don't think it quite gets there because that event is still an F1.
Okay.
Alright, good discussion. Next one. Mocha, Surprising Speed. 002k. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may put the top card of your deck under this as a marker. When this becomes reversed in battle, choose a face-down card under this and reveal it. If there's a card in the waiting room with the same name as that card, return the marker to your hand. This is a really weird...
Wait,
this
what?
is a super...
It's just
a card?
Yeah, this is a card.
Yeah, okay, so what is... So...
This is
So
like
let's
dank
break
meme
it
time.
down, right? I don't think it's actually a dang meme. I think we can this is almost draw a card. Like it's very close to being draw a card. So imagine this. It's like turn, I don't
Later
know,
on in the
turn,
game, like
it's like turn 3, turn 4, right? So you play this, you put whatever the hell under it, you ram it in. And then chances are you just add that marker to your hand if you've like
Wait,
brainstormed. If
you
you've
can get a climax with this card.
Yeah,
can
you
get
can.
anything with
yeah.
get anything with this card. That's why I'm saying it's like draw a
You
card.
can get hot bakery with this
So-
card.
Yes, you can get hot bakery. You can even get coffee from the first set because reasons. Look, point is, this is very, very, very close to come and play draw a card, and that is extremely powerful. Like, I understand that this is wise, that this is a game where there's selectivity in bounds, but this card is actually incredibly efficient if you think about it. If you brainstorm a couple times, you play this on turn 4, just ram it in, you leave an empty space, who cares, and then you probably draw a card. I think this is actually really, I'm not going to say it's good, but it's really close to being good.
It's interesting.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think it's actually just play it and 80% chance to draw a card, something to that tune, right? I think that's actually what it is.
I mean, I think it really depends when you're playing it. Like, you know, obviously when you play it at 0, you're probably whiffing. But
Yes. Like, if you played at 0, then it's because
Yes.
you didn't have a better 0 to play, and this is still a 0 to play. That's fine. But if you play it in, like, an opportune time, then it's not bad at all. Because we can't rate things based on how good they are in the worst-case scenario. This, like, if you can hold on to this and play it post your level 1 turn when they've beaten the shit out of all your weak-ass bread cards, then you probably just play it as draw a card. And if you play multiples, you can maybe even draw multiple cards. I'm actually on board with this. It seems deceptively powerful. You just have to get past the entire thing. Yeah, no, I'm happy calling this playable plus. I actually think this is pretty okay. When it comes down to it, the design is actually kind of boring, but the card itself is surprisingly powerful.
I don't know how I feel about this card. Like, I see it, but like I kind of see where you're getting with it, but like I don't know if I'd want to run it. But that's the thing. Like I
Right,
could
dude, right. It's just come and play draw a card.
Wait,
That's
this
what
is
it does.
this is mandatory, right?
That's
Yes.
What? Yeah, the effect is mandatory.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know why you'd play it if you weren't gonna do that, but um, it is mandatory. Yes.
Because if it was like, oh, reveal a climax, I don't really want to put the climax in my hand. I'll just let it go. And it's like, okay, sure.
Oh, I mean, well,
I think
you
I'd be
also
more
have
interested if-
on-reverse Rize and stuff if you are really worried about that.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like it'd be a lot cooler if it was actually not mandatory. If it was, you know, if you have the same card, you may.
I think
What's
this
my
card
opinion?
gets a lot worse in the second deck and onwards, right?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah, probably.
You're usually selecting for cards that you want, like desirable cards in hand. So the
Yeah, of
chances
course.
of this revealing a card that you'd want in hand that happens to be in the waiter room goes down a lot, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you'd have to be like spamming brainstorm, which a lot of people do anyway. But in a set that can run multiple Rizes and is happy just to get advantage in the first deck, I think this card is being underrated by everyone, including myself.
I think in a deck with multiple Rizes, you don't have I think if you're gonna play this card, you're either playing this or the Dear My Sister Rize, as you're already running Ricky Rize, the actual Rize, and Brainstorm.
Yeah, you're kind of.
I'm gonna give this playable minus.
I'm gonna edge on playable, but I'm leaning more towards playable minus. I'm still gonna give it playable because I think there's slight hope for it.
I just think Sin has a point where it's like your slots are really packed. Like the only card at 0 that's really like cuttable, at least in bread, is the Cocoa Amagi thing. And
Oh,
if I'm cutting that, I'd probably cut it for the on-reverse Rize. So yeah, I
I'd
don't
run
think
this
it's-
over Hot Bakery. That's for sure.
I mean, yeah, but I'd rather run Shimakai and stuff over Hot Bakery.
Yeah.
So
This card is great. You guys suck.
Maybe I'd put like
Nah.
two shields high.
You're
and
just
then-
riding. You're just
Fancy
riding the
something.
1/1 Yui evaluation.
Yeah, I
man.
yeah, I feel like you're just trying to call these weird ass
Come on,
cards
man.
good. So you can be like, yeah, I was right. And then
Yeah,
people
but when
are
it happens
Uh,
that I am right, you're
I
all
just
gonna be
think
like,
there's a significant
"Oh, shit."
problem with the card that's. I mean,
yeah, if it
this
misses,
is
you're
this is the mo at. If this misses, this is just like a vanilla. This is worse than a vanilla.
And this is
Dude, you play that Utaha from Saikano and say like it's one of the best
But-
cards in the set.
But
yeah, but Psycho's bad.
but that Utaha does other stuff.
It scries. That's all it does. That's
Yeah,
like not even enormous.
That is better than what this card does on play.
Yeah, but the plus you get from Utaha is way worse than what this card does.
No, it isn't.
I think it is.
Nah, I don't
drawing a
think so.
card. No, drawing a card is definitely better than
It costs-
replaying that crap.
It's you get like a costless character to play down to make your next brainstorm 5 cards.
Oh.
Ugh.
Cool. This just, I mean, I also think I just have a problem because, like, with this card, the concept wherein if you're a better player, this just like loses so much of its effectiveness past the first deck.
What are you talking about? Just you don't play it in the second deck. That's all you have to do.
But then why play it?
Like why? Like
There are lots of cards you don't play in the second
sure,
deck.
it's
Why
just-
play
but
these?
really good sandbag pluses are typically cards that you're fine playing in the second deck onwards as well.
Like, sure, you can throw this out with the stock soul and be like, all right, cool, it's gone. But then, like, it's hard. I feel like then it's hard to find a good time to play it a lot of the time if you're not going to play it in the second deck. Because then it's like, oh, I need to have it in the first deck. And then you have to want to play it at that point as
Yeah,
opposed
over
to,
like your combo or
bomb or the
Shimikaze Kai.
combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of competition to play this card in the first deck. At the times where it's most effective.
Okay, I'm sticking with my rating.
All right.
it's a card I want to try out, for sure.
I think you can let me know how that goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, next card for you, Coco. It's a 1/0/3K. When it's placed from hand to stage, give a card 1K for the turn. When another character's battle opponent becomes reversed, give a character 1K for the turn.
I think it's pretty bad.
There's
Yeah.
no reason you'd ever run
Sorry,
this,
bad.
right?
If this was an
Yes.
Avenger, I'd be more on board with it, I think. But it's not. And so I'm not.
I don't even think I'd be on board
Yeah,
with
no.
it if it was
Wait.
when one of your characters became reversed. Just
Well,
because you
I
don't
think
have
it's because
counters.
it's with the bomb and it can force your Mocha. It can actually push your Mocha over if it was an Avenger. I mean, I guess it works with the bomb
You
regardless.
mean like
but
an old man?
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm still
Because
not on board with it.
Avenger definitely does not mean that to me, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Avenger
I-
means something
I'm
else
just-
to me.
I don't know. To be fair, I would like this more if it was when my things die as opposed to when they reverse, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, because you have more control
Oh.
over that.
This card's just bad.
I think bad is probably appropriate for this, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Reward, Rize, is a 1/0/4/5. If the level of the character opposite... What? Oh, I see. If the level of the character opposite this is higher than this card's level, can't front attack, and level 1 bomb.
Bad.
That is the worst text on level 1 bomb
Yep.
ever.
Hello,
Oversized.
bad.
Bad.
Hey,
Can I give it
You
like?
have
Can I give it like bad minus?
You have a much better bomb. from,
exactly.
yeah.
You have
Oh,
one
yeah.
of the best level 1 bombs in the game, and then they print this.
Yeah, this card's 4,500 power, man.
This card's Hoto garbage.
it's Dear My Sister trait. Woo!
All right.
Rize, Flush Red. It's a 1/0/5K. This is Rize waifu, right?
No, the
When-
reason it's a 2/1.
Okay,
It's
when
even worse
I
than
don't even know what climax is. Is it stock soul?
It's a stock
Yeah.
soul.
When stock soul is placed to the climax zone, this in the front row, you may pay 1. If you do, mill 2. If all of those characters are either Rabbit House or Dear My Sister, choose a level 1 or lower character in your opponent's front row, put it in the waiting room, and choose up to one level 1 or lower character in your waiting room, add it to your hand.
Wait,
There's so
wait,
many
you-
cards in this set that I
have to-
forgot
You have to pay 1 for
Existed.
this before
You
you
have to pay
You have
one.
to pay 1
Yep.
to have a check.
God.
This is bad.
This is like
Why
would
this
you-
is
this
like
is
a
bad.
best
Why would you
Hoppo,
even
man.
Well, Hoppo only hit back row, right? And then you could...
No, Hoppo
Hoppo
hits
did
just
anything.
zeros.
Yeah, it was just zeros.
Oh, so that's even worse. Well, this is not comparable to Hoppo, because Hoppo hits
It's
something
free.
way worse. but at least
Yeah, no,
Oppo,
Hope was free. That was
yeah, that's the
that was the
difference.
appealing part.
I mean, this card's technically free because stock sold, but
The first
Uh,
one's free, sure, but eh.
when would you ever want to play multiples of this? God damn it!
You don't want to play this card in general. When would you ever want to play this in general?
This
It
card
doesn't
is pretty
even
terrible.
go in Rize Waifu.
Yeah, there's a better combo for Rize Waifu in
I'm
this
gonna
set.
call it bad. I am gonna call it bad.
Yeah.
Okay, next card. Making Bread Mocha. Give me a sec.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay. Making bread mocha. That's a 105k. As recollection, if the level 3 Cocoa is in your memory, this gains the following ability. When this reverses a card, you can put the top card of your library into your stock. This is
card-
cool. This
card's
is a
good.
nice card.
I really like this card.
This
This
card
is the most
kinda,
overrated profile in the entirety of Weiss.
Hey.
It's hella overrated, but
Hey.
in the Dear My Sister deck, it's actually pretty relevant.
This
Because
is like
usually
the
it's-
Aqua, right?
Yeah.
It's like the
except
Aqua, but the Aqua says if you have 3 or less stock, it works. This just always works.
Oh, I think that makes
Yeah.
Aqua more playable, but this is like a fine slot in the deck.
Yeah, it definitely
I
makes
think.
Aqua more playable in its own way, but like I like this mostly because it's pretty like it's not difficult to pay out the stock, and it's basically like I can swing 3 times, get an extra stock, and then 5-card brainstorm every turn and not feel bad about it.
Sure.
You guys realize that this requirement is not a card that we've been vaunting as the meta play, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
No, it's
No,
not
yeah.
meta.
This is a niche
It's just-
card, man.
It's
Yeah, it's playable
niche,
niche.
and it's
Playable niche.
good in the
Alright,
deck.
playable niche.
Yeah. My
Playable.
thoughts on this card are strictly from playing the deck.
In any other, I would never run this in any other bunnies deck, but it's
Well,
fine.
no, of course
the-
you wouldn't. Like, it's a 105k in every other deck.
It's nice that Dear My Sister has a Shimokai. To pump
I
this.
still maintain that this is hella overrated, but I do think it's like
You're
it's not a
overrated.
terrible card. Yeah, you're right. I am overrated, but I'm also more right than a lot of people give me credit for. So there we go.
Ride in the Yui train.
Next
man.
card.
And I'm gonna win Houston. Leave it to Mother, Coco's Mother, 105k. During your turn, if all your characters have either Coco or Mocha named, this gains 2k for the turn.
It's insane.
What?
Playable minus niche.
Playable minus.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Niche playable minus.
Uh,
It's like it's there. It's an option, I guess. I considered it for like 5 minutes and then I cut it.
her mom looks younger than she is.
Do you know
yeah,
what
that's
the
point.
flavor
That's why it's
text
called.
is?
That's why it's called Three Sisters because it looks
Oh,
like
God.
Three Sisters.
Look at the
That's,
flavor text, man.
Flavor text.
Fountain of Youth. Yeah, whatever. Play minus niche. Making Bread, Coco. It's a 1155. For each of the other characters with either Rabbit House or Bread, this gains 500 power, and at the start of the Encore step, if you have no other rested characters in your front row, you may pay 1 and rest this. So, still a misunderstood ability. Basically, the idea is if you ever get fully wiped, like your entire front row gets wiped and this is there, you can pay 1 to quote-unquote plus by keeping this alive. And that's all it does. Like,
Rather run the other Cocoa though. The other 1/1 Cocoa. If I ran a 1/1 Cocoa, it'd probably be
I
the other, the one from like set 1 or whatever.
There's another
I'm
one,
not trying to make.
Yeah,
like
it's a 117k with hand on core.
Oh, is it 7k? Alright.
I think it's 7k. It might be
Whatever.
7.5. It could
This
very
is
well.
7.5.
I think the other one might actually be 7.5. But
I'm looking it up right now.
yeah, it's like the other card's just better. I prefer hand on core to pay 1 encore because it's not, conditional.
It's not pay 1 over. It's
Yeah.
This is like conditional pay 1 plus.
Yeah, it's,
The
isn't it technically pay 1 encore if your whole field it's conditional pay 1 encore. So
Like, it's not infrequent to see like someone have
Oh,
a
definitely
level
not.
1 bomb.
especially
a
not in
random
red.
dude. Like, well, no, what I mean is if you have like this and then a random 1/0 dork and then like empty slot, it's really not rare for an opponent to have 1 level 1 bomb and then not be able to beat over the 5k because their hand sucks, and it's like not infrequent, and then they just put their own pseudo wall into the last lane because they'd rather play on defense, and then they leave the other level 1 alive, and then this dies, and then this doesn't have any sort of way to come back. The Encore at least circumvents that, and that's happened enough to me that I have actually brought it up. If it only happened like once in my life, then I wouldn't bring it up. But
I mean, it's happened with like the Lizbeth when I played it in Sword Art, with like Link Attack and stuff. But it's just like, I don't know. I feel like I just value the one with hand encore more. Personally,
yeah, that one's not conditional. That's the thing.
yeah.
The
Like I think
the
this card
other,
is fine, but
the other one with hand encore is also 7-5 for what that's worth. So this is
Yeah. So you play that one straight
Yeah.
up. I
Yeah.
would not play because this card preferably does not die at all. And if it does die, then your opponent is really friggin' big, or they specifically bombed it. Like it's one of
to be
those two.
fair,
And
if you have an empty slot though, this card's also only a 7K. So, because it is 500 for each other. So it's like,
all right. I do think that I wouldn't begrudge you for playing this, especially if you like only had access to this booster. But it's like a
I mean, I don't think
know.
you can really play rabbits if you only had. I guess you could play the bakery deck if you only had access to this booster, but even then, you're missing the brainstorm.
This definitely doesn't go in the bakery deck though, because it only counts. Oh wait, no, it could go in the bakery deck. It can't go in the Dear My Sister deck though.
Yeah.
Can it?
no, it's not.
It could because don't they all have Rabbit House still?
In
It's
the-
It
just
will have some
Rabbit House.
element,
Sister.
right?
Oh yeah.
For at least if you're only running the red blue version, yeah, they're all Dear My Sister Rabbit House. But if you run,
I mean-
if you want to run like the yellow for like the Musashi and stuff, then it's not anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, if this powers is still relevant when you're playing Musashis, then I think something very, very strange.
Well, no,
has
no,
happened.
because you have other you have to run other yellow cards. Obviously, I'm just saying like if you
Yeah,
if you
sure,
splash
sure.
yellow, then potentially just weaker. But yeah, most of
Alright.
the deck is Rabbit House in the Dear My Sister deck.
Well, we've talked a whole bunch about a card which is ultimately like playable minus niche. Like it's at the high end of playable minus because it's still like a 1175 low of the time. Whatever. Kirko, matching rabbits. 2275. It is a come and play. If you have 4 more of a Rabbit House or Dear My Sister, you may put the top card of your deck in stock. Alright. And when this becomes reversed, the level of the battle opponent is higher than the level of the opponent, so anti-change stuff, you may reverse that character. So, as you would expect with a red anti-change bomb, is the worst sort of anti-change. It's only a reverse as opposed to clock kicking or not, well, clock swapping or stock kicking or whatever. Terms are weird. Primarily because this is bad against Vivid Strike, and it also lets them encore it, stuff. As a result, this is like, not a fan. I'm not a fan.
I
Yeah.
think it's bad.
Is it bad? Like, is there something which is straight up better?
It's-
I mean, you have there's potentially you can have the counters. There's 2 anti-change counters now for a bomb.
they're not the
not
same
really,
though.
But I prefer the Mocha level 3 like killer as opposed to the bomb. But
I know that Mono Blue has that Aoyama
Bottom
Blue
deck
Mountain
bomb.
or whatever her name is,
Yeah.
but that's not really comparable. Like, you
I-
can't search for that.
I
I mean, I
think
guess it's
you can salvage it with your level 1 combo.
woo.
You
I-
still have to play a different color for
If
it.
you really wanted, oh no, isn't there the Rize one? There's a Rize one. In one of
Yeah,
the
there
old-
is.
Yeah, there's a reason.
But
one first.
2-1.
But
this is a strict update or a strict upgrade from that, in my
I don't
opinion.
think it is.
Wait,
The Rize is a
what?
one that does the same thing. How is it an upgrade?
wait,
It's
this
got
is 2 soul.
This is 2 souls.
This is 2 soul.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, sure, but then it's also conditionally. It could potentially end up being a 2/2.
What?
I don't
Wait.
think you're.
No.
That seems
no.
very unlikely.
It could.
No.
I'm just-
No.
Come on.
No.
No, man, come on.
Come
That's-
on,
that's
man.
so-
Sure, if you're gonna be an
No.
assumption, then sure, I guess it's a strict upgrade. But
Playable minus.
I'm not a fan. I would
strict
play.
upgrade. It's like playable minus then, isn't it?
Yeah.
And 2 is always on the whole better than 1.
I don't think I'd fault somebody for playing this as an anti-change option.
Yeah, that seems fine, especially because you can't play the 1-0 counter anymore anyway.
Yeah.
Although obviously they had different function, but look, this was one of its functions.
A lot of people
okay.
they're running the Chia now. The 2/1 Chia. I don't think that's right though.
Okay, so playable minus. Lonely Coco, this is 00500. Wait, is she leaving? She's never coming back? Oh, that's a problem. When your other character becomes reversed in battle, choose a character that gains 1k for the turn, and pay 2, tap this salvage character. Okay, first I slapped my microphone. I hope that didn't deafen everybody.
Nice to Kaiki.
And Dice to Kaiki. Yeah, that's my rating. Dice to Kaiki.
Not gonna see play ever.
Is this bad? Playable minus? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's playable
Whatever.
minus. You could run it, I guess.
This is bad plus.
Where's my shrug rating?
Shrug out of 10.
This is bad plus. Alright. Usual pair, Coco. It's a 001k. When this is played from hand to stage, mill 2. There's at least one climax among them. Mill the top card of your opponent's deck, and then if you do, choose a card in your opponent's waiting room and put it on top of their deck. So, this is the... How many hoops are you jumping through? This is like... Oh, okay, it's only 2 different hoops. But you're jumping through a lot of hoops to confirm 1 damage. And when this attacks, give a character 1k for the turn. So this is like better Shimakai, right?
Huh.
It's
Yeah, dude, it mills too.
Total.
God.
Value.
I think you even have better cards that mill too than this card.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
can run bomb.
You could run a
Mhm.
Reset.
bomb. You could run, and there are better power pumps than this card.
Yeah, so this does like a bunch of things really poorly, and that's not what we look for in Weiss. Like we want, well, the one exception being like Eris, but you want this to you want your cards to do something well, not to do a bunch of things poorly.
Yep.
So this
Bad
card
card.
is bad plus. I'm gonna keep abusing that new rating. Wonderland Reason is a 0015. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may pay 1, ditch 1. If you do, salvage a red or Dear My Sister character and give a either red or Dear My Sister character 1k for the turn. And when damage dealt by this is cancelled, you may put this into stock.
I think this card is fine.
Sometimes this card is like, overall, it's come in play, ditch 1, salvage 1, give something 1k, and then it's goes to
Yeah,
stock. Right?
it becomes the ditch one, yeah.
This is a
It
good.
becomes-
Like, this card seems good in Dear My Sister because you just pick up your best card, which is your
I
brainstorm.
actually think it's better in Rabbit House, to be honest, because it gives you just more potential stock,
Yeah.
which the deck
And this
kind
one
of
of-
wants.
Is this one of your cards that can pick up Musashi?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, it can.
That's worth more than nothing, right?
I mean, everything that hits Dear My Sister can pick up Musashi.
Did I cut out or?
no, you're good. Yeah, like most of the Dear Mice, any card
I
that,
guess I cut
wants
out.
to be... No, you didn't get cut out. No.
Well,
Yeah, I think this card's playable. I wouldn't judge anybody for running this in any of the decks, to be honest. Any of the decks that run red, at least.
eminently solid effect.
Yeah.
Is
Yep.
Lychee there? No, he died.
He died.
Alright, so,
There he
He's
is.
back.
next
I don't
card.
actually know if
Oh,
I'm
hell
alive or
yeah.
not. Am I
Love this
alive?
card.
You're good.
Relax.
You're back.
I'm kind of back.
Just in
Do you
time.
want to read? Oh, do you want to read? Or
What card are we on? Are we on
Magical Girl
Coco?
Coco? Yeah.
Oh god, this card. For each of your other powers combined Chino in the front row, this gains 2k power. If
Oops.
this is on the stage, it gains magic. And when this front stacks, you may pay 1. If you do, choose one of your opponent's characters, and it gets -1 level for the turn.
Haha, dank meme!
Dankest.
This card dart's adorable out of 10. I love it.
Yeah.
Literally best
So
card
you guys understand what this is for, right? Like you
Yeah.
yeah, you are front stack with this.
Yeah, this is for the
A1.
level 1 bomb.
I mean that
Duh.
work.
Hello?
But
Come on.
do you know what the powers combined Chino does?
No.
I remember reading that card and seeing the cute
So
little
what
combo.
what happens is when Magical Girl Coco attacks, you may put a level 0 character in your opponent's front row to the waiting room.
Oh my god.
So the
least.
idea is to attack with this,
Oh.
pay 1, give something -1 level, and immediately kill it.
This is like a dank Popo.
You force it to be level
Uh,
0.
yeah, or something to be level 0. This is dank meme. I don't think this ever sees play ever. This is like the dumbest thing.
Dude, if you're playing in a
Both of the arts are cute though.
if you're playing in a re-zero meta, you can use this to -1 level their puck and bottom deck it with your bomb.
Wait. You can. Wait. Oh man. You can't kill early plays with this. Why would they do that?
I don't know how you would manage to kill an early
Just
play with it,
-1.
but
This should have been on play. Pay 1 neg level.
So you can play 2 of them, neg something down to level 1, and then level 1 bomb it.
No, or you could do that, or you could just.
wait, why can't you do that with this? Just attack something else, pay 1.
Dude, I just wanted to kill the early play with the Chino.
Can't. Oh, you want to
But,
use it like an idiot.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean,
All right, that's
that's enough.
Yeah.
So that's a dank meme right there. Next card, Idle Reset Chain. 002k. Rest this. Give a character with either Rabbit House or Dear My Sister 1/5 at a turn.
Bad.
It's probably a
Naval
Pauper
Knights.
staple if Pauper ever becomes a format that matters. Hint, it won't. So, no, don't play this. It doesn't do enough. Bad. The next card is my reaction to the previous card. Rize rolling her eyes. It's a 0025. If you have no other characters, this gains 2k for it. Oh, I see. So Hooker went home for a week. Right. It's not sad after all. Yeah. It's
Better.
0045. Am I cutting out or
No.
is no one talking?
Well,
Okay, cool.
is this
I think this is actually probably playable, right? It's a 4/5.
Playable minus.
Playable
Is it?
minus.
You have better
Because when it, yeah, sure, but
If
when
you-
it sticks, it does the same thing as your runner, right?
I mean, if you wanted an oversized, I think you
comment.
just play the 3/5 level 1 instead of the 4/5.
Oh, well, I do agree with that. Sure, let's go with that.
okay.
I mean, this doesn't lose the 4Ks, but that doesn't lose the bombs. Who freaking cares?
Bombs
It's
are
still,
more
playable.
seen than 4Ks, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Best smile, Rize. When this is placed from hand to stage, mill 2, and this gains X power, where X is. Okay, it's X is 1,000 times the number of characters with Rabbit House or Dear My Sister, not
Nice.
100.
2700 power, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, got there. Alright, so, I hate this profile. I have no idea why it briefly saw play in Love Live Sunshine.
Did they have nothing better to run?
Wait, they play this in P5
no.
too.
Do they?
Yes, they do.
Do they?
Probably.
They do.
I
They do.
doubt it.
It's a pro tag, right?
Yes, they do play this in P5.
I think I've seen it played. Now that you've mentioned it, but like,
They absolutely play. They play 2 to 3 this card actually.
That's because they need to mill a crap ton for their 7Ks. Here,
Yes.
you don't need to do anything.
no,
to it,
fair enough.
So, I
Yeah,
am not
I
a
think
fan of
it's-
this.
I think it's
Hey man,
bad.
call it bad.
Yeah, this card, sometimes it beats your opponent's
I
3/5
can't see
level
ever
ones.
wanting to play it, ever.
Correct. I think my pluses are way more important than them minusing, so I call it bad.
Could call it playable minus.
Okay, now, right in the back, Mocha, 0025. When this is front attack, you may discard 2 cards from your hand. If you do, choose one of your other characters with Coco in name and this card, and return them to your hand. Grief, really?
Only a minus.
It's not a minus.
It's not a minus.
It's, you get 2 cards back for, and you discard 2 cards.
Oh, you get this back. Holy shit.
Yeah, so,
No.
that doesn't stop it from being
Wait,
thoroughly mediocre, but
No.
I just
No
want
way.
to call
Your
it
only
bad.
front row Coco is the combo.
there's the level 3.
There's the
Oh,
runner.
okay, sure. If we're talking about that card, but that
There's the
requires you
runner.
to put this in the front at level 3.
Yes,
Hmm.
but your opponent's ever reversing this.
And it also requires this to survive.
Big brain.
Uh, um, it's bad. This doesn't do anything.
This is bad.
Maybe it's some insane combo.
I like
should
it. I like it for Mocha's face and nothing else.
All right. Is that the one where she's got like the vertical line eyes?
Yeah.
I can't actually see the screen share. I'm just whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's not just like the derpy vertical eyes.
Hey. All right, next card. While I'm gone, Coco is 004K. When this is placed from hand to stage, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a level 0 or lower character, put this in your stock. It's been a long time since I actually liked this profile.
Yeah.
I like this better than the 00 Mil 2.
I mean, we're calling this bad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're calling it
We
bad.
called the Rize bad, so
Yep,
Yeah.
this is bad.
I like this in Monogatari.
You're bad.
Got him.
Bickering sisters, Mocha and Coco's mom. Wait, Mocha. Oh, I see. So it's Mocha and then the mom. Sure. When this is placed from hand to stage, mill 2. If there's at least one climax among the rest, it's bad.
No, bad.
Yeah.
Alright, Coco, helper, with the 1015. Backup 15. It's playable
It's a
minus.
1500 backup.
Strictly better than the TD one, the TD 15 counter, because it has Dear My Sister.
What? Oh, is this even playable minus then?
Okay, fine, playable.
It's Rabbit House with Dear My Sister.
Yeah, it's strictly better.
It can go in all the
Okay,
decks.
playable. Fine,
Okay.
playable. Rize, handmade plushie, 217K. If you have 4 more characters with either Rabbit House or Dear My Sister, this gets to make 1 level in hand. Alright, so 117K. When the battle opponent is reversed, if you have it's a military.
The show's over.
Yeah, if you
The
have
salvaging show's over.
it's a military secret. Is that a 2K1s? Oh, is
It's-
that
Yep,
like a 2K
split 2K1.
Split 2K1.
Q1.
Split 2K1. Sure. So if you have that, then you may and you have 4 or more other characters with Rabbit House Dear My Sister, which is almost certain given you played this in the first place. Draw up to 1 card and then salvage 1 character.
This card's only playable in Rize Waifu.
Yeah.
And even then it's not because Coco or because Chino's on the climax art. It's unfortunate.
No bully. I regard that as waifu playable if you have no choice.
Plenty of
If you
people
have a
don't.
choice,
If you count the climax, then it's not
Alright.
waifu playable. But it's a thing.
Is there an alternate art where she's not in the
Nope.
climax?
Oh,
Okay.
Only Chino.
Okay.
Nice
Mocha, this
waifu
moment, best shot. This is the best shot.
This is best shot, but it's better than best shot.
This card doesn't seem like a card that's only best shot. It's a 2175. When this attacks, if the level of the character opposite is 3 or higher, this gains 4K 1 soul for its turn.
No, this is level 3 killer I'm referring to.
this is the best shot card.
Best shot card, but it's not only for best shot.
It's the best shot card because it's not only for best shot.
What I said.
Yeah. So let's give this like a playable, probably a playable minus. I think.
I think it's straight playable. I like this card a
Seems
lot.
good. Yeah, that seems fine.
Yeah.
Alright. Making break Coco's mom's 2275. When this attacks against X power for the turn, where X is 1000 times the number of your other Rabbit House or Braid characters, so this probably attacks as an 11-5, and it's got that it's got the 1/1 Coco thing where at the start of Encore step, if you have no other rest of the characters in front of you, you may pay 1 to rest this.
Nah.
I actually think this is bad.
I don't
yeah.
think this is
It's
No,
bad.
This
don't
is
play
like-
this.
bad filler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've been harsher this set than we have on anything recently.
Good.
Alright, let's get to Hotto Bakery.
Oh baby.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god, they didn't even like. This isn't even the hardware cards translating. It's literally Hot Bakery. Like that's the actual name of the
Yeah.
card, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Um, if there are 2 or fewer cards in memory, send this to your memory so you can have up to 3. At the start of your climax phase, if this is in memory, give one of your Mocha, Coco, Mocha or Coco characters 1/5 for the turn.
Or
What
by
can I say?
definition niche, but
Yeah, it is by definition niche, but we are giving it a rating, and I guess we all um,
I,
bad plus niche.
I'll give it playable minus because I still like the Amagi.
Bad
So
plus, huh?
bad plus.
I'll
It
Yeah.
is
I'm just saying.
better than bad,
One
but
sec.
I'll stay playable minus because I still support the Amagi. So
That's fine. People allowed their opinions. Okay, next card, and last card in red, it seems. Wonderland Magic 1/1 counter. Choose a Dear My Sister character, and it gains 3,500 for the turn. Did they
No.
put this in here because they want to use the art, or why?
Guess
I
so.
guess
like-
they wanted to use the art.
Oh, oops.
I like the full
but-
design on the map.
I haven't
Oh,
read that, but
okay.
sure.
So I can see the screen share again. TP's got a top hat on.
Yeah,
That's
that's the best part
what I
about
want
it.
to contribute. That's
This card.
this
card
is like
no.
This
this
is
card
like
is not something that's been good since 2013.
niche playable minus.
You just want to call
I
this card
guess it
bad.
has to be playable mode.
Does
Niche.
it?
I
Bad
really do
minus.
want to call it bad. I would never play this in a deck unless it was a specific
Oh, you can
requirement.
call it bad. That's fine.
Hella bad.
Yeah.
Or
There's-
bad plus.
I'm
not
a
even-
hipster, so I'm calling it playable minus.
In what realm is it playable? The world where you don't play the mill runner?
I guess
Or
in the
bad.
world where you're
You're
trying
not playing Rize's or mill runners or
well, you're trying to play the Dear My Sister deck, and you want to play the 7K, and you want a good counter, I guess. I have no idea. It's terrible justification for a terrible card.
I'm just want to be that guy. That's all.
Okay.
Alright.
Look, that's all. That's probably all we're gonna have time for this week. So we'll be back with blue, yellow, and green probably next week.
Yeah.